We're here at Pike Creek Bowling Center.
Is that the guy got
Youth
strikes
Top
for?
10
Is this the kid who got strikes
tournament,
for?
the Prep Boys Division. Last
Yeah,
year's
he's
Prep
working with, like,
champion
getting strikes
Keith
after
Poppiti
strikes
getting
after
ready to throw the first ball. Puts it out. Whoop. Not a good start. 4-10. Keith was the winner last year in this division. He's going to come back and try for 2 in a row, which is something that we have not had before. Scott Jaquin came through the rounds to go into the final match. Scotty, a left-hander, looks of determination. Yep. Looks like his dad out there, Bone, with a baseball hat on. In the qualifying, as soon as we find it here, here we go. In the qualifying, Keith came out on top with a 1082. Second was Scotty with a 1062. 1034, Craig Johnson, and a tie for fourth with 1,000, Jerry Thornton and Mike McCloskey. Scotty had series of 496, 432, and a 566 at Pike Creek in the final round of the qualifying. And he makes a spare. In the semifinals of this tournament, Jerry Thornton won the first match over Mike McCloskey, 231 to 131. In the second match, Jerry Thornton 211 to Craig Johnson's 190. And in the semifinal match, Jerry Thornton 170. Scott Jaquin came back, snatched the victory, 179. Scotty started off the game with 2 splits in a row, which at that point, after watching Jerry roll over 400 scratch for 2 games, most bowlers would have quit at that point. Scotty didn't quit. He said, nah, I'm not ready to give this up yet. Came back with a spare and a turkey and ended up with a 9-pin victory over Jerry Thornton to get here today. Keith comes back after a shaky start, has himself a double. Scott Jaquin. Good delivery. Good strike. They're going to fight for this one. Scotty's second year of bowling is going to be in grade 6 at Conrad Middle School. Parents are Lou and Sherry. His sister is Becky, who made the junior division title match. She lost the title match, but she made it to the title match. That's what's important. Scotty's high game is a 206. That's what we have down here on the sheet, but that can't be right at this point because he had a 209 at Pike Creek in the qualifying for this tournament. His high series is 582. Keith Poppiti will be a 7th grader at Stanton Middle School. He's been bowling for 5 years. Parents, Roxy and Anthony. Brother Kevin. Side games are 277 and 268. This is his 12th match on TV. He's been on television in more matches than any bowler in the 8-year history of the Bowlers Gazette. And he's got a good record up to this point. He's got 10 wins and just 1 defeat on television. A TV veteran. Came in second in the JBT. He won the top 10 tournament last year. Junior Singles Classic, he's won 2 years in a row. Made the nation's top 10 3 times already. He was the All Events champion in 1988 in the city tournament. Person who's helped him in his bowling, his brother Kevin, and Mark Feiner. Favorite pro bowler, Amleto Monticelli. Biggest thrill in bowling? He doesn't know. For an 11-year-old or a 12-year-old at this point, he's done so many different things, he can't make up his mind which was the most thrilling. 10 wins on television, the JBGA Championship, Junior Singles Classic twice, Youth Top 10 once, going for it again. And that's the 5th frame, so that means it's time for a break. We'll be back after these words. And at Pike Creek for the final completion of the match, Youth Top 10 Prep Boys Division. Scott Jaquin comes back with a strike. He's got a turkey. Good match, good scoring match at this point. Keith has a 76 in the 4th with a spare. Scotty has a 70 in the 3rd with a double. About a 25-pin lead, more or less at this point. Scotty came in 3rd place in the singles in 1987 for the State Association. He was the bowler of the year at Price Lanes in their prep division. He won the Youth Adult Scotch Doubles, and he qualified to go to Fairlanes to bowl in the Pro-Am Youth Tour that was down there. That was through the JBGA tournament, qualifying for that. Missed the spare. Missed a 10-pin. That closes the gap a little bit. 127 in the 6th for Scott Jaquin. Keith Poppiti, veteran TV performer. Look at that determination. There's Brooklyn with it. Looks up at the score. A little bit behind, but not enough to get overly excited about at this point. We've still got 4 frames left. Anything can happen. He knows that. Makes the spare in the 6th frame. Narrows the lead to approximately 12 to 15 pins. Keith trying to come back with a victory. Had 10 wins in a row, which is an all-time Bowlers Gazette record. Nobody's even been on TV 10 times before, much less won 10 matches. He looks like he's in trouble now. Big split, 6, 7, 10 in the 7th frame. 15 pins behind at this point, and things don't look good for this frame. When he watches this match on TV, I hope he notices the difference in his approach now compared to his previous matches. Drastic difference. Scott Jaquin, left-hander, coming through. Throws a nice ball. Swings his body around at the delivery point, but that's not too crucial from the looks of this game. Did extremely well in the qualifying. A lot of grit coming back from way behind. Uh-oh. Put that one out a little bit too far. But he's on a strike, so it's not a total catastrophe. Needs a spare. Good thing he wasn't on a spare, he says. Hasn't lost anything yet. He could have gained, but he hasn't lost anything. Uh-oh. Put put the ball out there again. Likes that first board, and that can be a hazard. That tightens the matchup considerably. Look of determination. He knows he messed that one up. But it's not over till it's over. Keith Poppiti. New lease on life. And he comes through. That's a close match. Depending on what Keith does in this frame, it could be within pins, or he could go into the lead considerable. Keith Poppiti coming up in the 9th frame. Striking the 8th, 121 in the 7th. Scotty with a 137 in the 8th. Put that ball way out, and that doesn't look too interesting either. 5 pins. You take a look at that shot and say, where did the ball go? And another bad frame. That was a horrendous frame. 141, a very close match. That gives Scotty an advantage at this point. 1 pin lead for Scotty, but Keith only had a 5 count. Took it a little bit easy on that one, almost got in trouble. Gives him a slight lead. Interesting match. With bowlers doing well and then ran into calamities. Scotty drops another one in the gutter. That's going to even make it closer. They're having a rough time playing that outside line. The ball's not holding. Gives Scotty a 4-pin lead going into the 10th frame. At this point, this is anybody's match. Whoever wants it the best is going to get it. It looks like Scotty says, I'm not done yet. Good strike by Scott. Crucial strike. Needed a good mark there. Any kind of pins on this ball is going to force Keith into a double to win the match. That's it. That just about closes Keith Poppiti out. However, stranger things have happened this game, so we're not going to say that yet. He needs to keep the ball in the lane and get some pins. And that was awfully close. Came back, and he is going to be the winner in the Youth Top 10 Prep Boys Division. 174 for Scott Jaquin. About 40 pins over his average, 30-some pins. Keith Poppiti finishing out the 10th frame. Now he gets a strike. Frame late. If he'd had that to frame before, it would have made the game completely different. Had 1 bad frame. Scotty had 1 bad frame. But a good match, exciting match. Going down to the 10th frame. Got 1 more of them. Left the 10-pin. 3-pin fell. He's going to finish up with a 160. 160 of some sort. 160, that's what he's going to finish up with. Welcome to the Junior Bowlers Gazette. I think you're going to enjoy tonight's match. Nicole, Markey, Roberta, McGee in the Youth Top 10 Tournament, the Prep Girls Division. You're going to get to see that and a whole lot more on tonight's show. We've got some tournament information for you coming up, but before we get into that, we want to talk a little bit about the tournament we just had this past weekend. And that, of course, was the state team event. It took place way down in Seaford, Delaware. And I'm a little bit surprised at the entry count from the houses in Newcastle County. Now, from my house to Seaford, it was about an hour and a half drive. And the entry count from some of our houses, well, some of the houses didn't even send any entries. The largest house we have in Newcastle County, with 250 sanctioned junior bowlers, had no teams represented. Two of the other houses also had 0 teams represented. Two of the houses had 2 teams represented. One of the houses that I used to be involved with, we always had at least 50 kids go to Lower Delaware for the tournament. This year they had 10. So I think something needs to be addressed on this issue. I think the coaches have to get on the ball a little bit and promote the tournaments a little bit better. I think the proprietors need to get involved also, as they used to. There used to be a time when 3, 4, 5 houses would send a busload of kids to the state tournament. This year, I think there was only 1 bus that went, and that was from Holiday. So I think we got to get a little bit more interest going in the state tournament. I was very unhappy with the entry count. I was also unhappy with a couple comments that I heard over the weekend, such as, well, my child is too good to bowl in the state tournament, or I don't want to travel that far to bowl 3 games. Well, I don't know who these people are or think they are, but if you look at the top 10 averages for the men, people like JJ, Donnie Stewart. JJ, of course, has 30-some 300 games, more than anybody else in the country. He always bowls in the men's city and state tournament. Donnie Stewart also bowls, Jerry Stewart. You go to the women's side of the board, and you have people like Betty Ganner. And when Rita Justice was bowling, best bowlers in the area, some in the country, they always bowled in the city and state tournament. So if they were good enough to bowl in the tournaments, I don't see why a junior bowler should think that they aren't good enough or are too good to bowl in the tournament. So now that I'm off my soapbox, tonight's match, we said, got a good one. Nicole Markey, Roberta McGee, and you'll get to see that in just a moment. At the end of the Gazette, we're at Pike Creek Bowling Center for the 1988 Youth Top 10 Tournament. The Prep Girls Division bowling is Nicole Markey from Brookside. She was the tournament leader. And she'll be bowling against Roberta McGee from First State, who came in to fight her way up into the second place position. Nicole Markey from Brookside. Now there's a coach at Brookside. Set. It starts off with a miss in the first frame. Now we'll get a look at Roberta McGee for the first time. Roberta out of the NBA league from First State Lanes. Roberta qualified in third place position. She had an 8:31. Is Robert McGee. Vernia McGee, Bob, a bowler long-standing in the Wilmington area. Sister's name is Juanita. And right now, Juanita is the only one that bowls. Her high game is a 194. She's placed in a few tournaments. See how she does here today. Just went by the 6-pin. First frame. The top 5 before the roll-offs: Nicole Markey, Olivia Gregg, Roberta McGee, Eva Scotton, and Amber Reed. In the first match of the qualifying, it was Eva Scotton, 158 against Amber's 131. And the second 206, a one-pin victory over Eva Scotton. And in the semifinal round, it was Roberta McGee, 139, and Olivia Gregg, 115. And this is the championship match, the 8th annual Bowlers Gazette Youth Top 10 Tournament, Girls Division. Shot to spare, looked like it should have made it. She's got 16, or 18 rather, in the second frame. Nicole Markey, tournament leader. Winner of the tournament gets a $250 scholarship. Loser of the tournament, if you want to call them the loser, since they did get on TV, gets a $100 scholarship for their efforts. Scholarships are available through the Bowlers Gazette and can be used in any school of higher education that is accredited, whether it be a college, a university, a trade school. We've had bowlers in a number of schools already who have used their scholarships. There's a spare for Nicole. First spare of the match. Coming up on lane 7 here in the third frame at Pike Creek Bowling Center. Our first visit to Pike Creek. A little bit off balance at the foul line. Nicole's going to have to work on that. Person's had a major influence in her bowling. Her mom, because she's behind me in my bowling. Steve Atchley, who's her coach, and Rich Kutcher, who first taught her how to bowl. Favorite pro bowler is Pete Weber. And her biggest thrill in bowling was when I got my first 100 game. She certainly has had quite a few of those since then. She'll be a 7th grader at Kirk School. A spare for Nicole in the third frame. Roberta McGee from First State Lanes. Roberta also will be a 7th grader at Kirk Middle School. Came in 3rd place in the team event in the 24th annual city tournament. 8th place team event in the TNBA Eastern tournament. 2nd place in the doubles in the 23rd annual city tournament. And 2nd place in doubles in the 21st annual tournament. So she's obviously a tournament bowler. It's a good spare for Roberta in the 3rd frame. She's 9 pins behind. This is scratch bowling, by the way. Bowlers Gazette Youth Top 10 Tournament scratch competition. Bowlers are selected based on their averages that are turned in for the city and state tournaments. They're the only ones that we can actually verify because all average sheets have to be in for those tournaments. So there's 5 listings throughout the bowling season. And they're broken down by boys and girls. Age groups, prep, which is 11 and under, junior, which is 12 and 14, 12 and 14, and the major seniors, which is 15 and up. So they get to bowl within their own age group in scratch competition. One of the few scratch tournaments for juniors in the Wilmington area. So rough count on a spare, 33 in the 4th frame. Nicole now up on lane 8. Has a sizable lead at this point. 7 count. 2-4-5 should be an easy spare. 467, 453. And in the final round at Pike Creek, she had a 223 game, which was her high game, and a 566 series, which is certainly her high series by over 100 pins. I think she likes Pike Creek Bowling Center. A tremendous scoring effort on her part in the qualifying. The qualifying is a 3-day event. Bowlers bowl 3 games in each of 3 different bowling centers. The tournament started at First 8 Lanes. We bowled 3 games there. Then we bowled 3 games at Holiday Lanes, and then 3 games at Pike Creek Bowling Center. And the lowest set of 3 games is dropped. The other 6 games are added together to determine who makes the top 5. And she makes the spare. And that's the 5th frame, which means it's now time for us to take a break. We'll be back with the continuation of this match right after this. Gazette Youth Top 10 Tournament. Roberta McGee in the 5th frame. Sound like she dropped that one. A 3-pin standing. In the qualifying, Roberta had 414 in her first set, 348 in her second set, and 417 in her third 3-game block. Top 2 totals, 831, which earned her a 3rd place qualifying position. Whoops, and she goes by the 3-pin to put her farther behind in today's competition. She's got 42 in the 5th frame. Nicole has 62 in the 4th with a spare up. Just about a 40-pin lead for Nicole Markey after 5 frames. But don't count Roberta out. That's what I mean. She's not about to sit back and let somebody win it. They're going to have to do it on their own. Nicole Markey coming up in the 6th frame on lane 8 at Pike Creek Bowling Center. Smooth delivery. She was steady at the foul line, and the results showed it. Beautiful strike. Good competition here in the prep girls. Bowlers under a lot of pressure, bowling under TV. Lots of people watching. Cameras, lights. They don't look too nervous to me. A little bit off balance on that one. And it shows the ball did not come up to the head pin. 1, 2, 4, 8. Not an easy shot. Good Brooklyn hit. Should make this spare. Spare? Well, she didn't make the spare. We didn't get to see the spare. She chopped 2. That gives her 108 in the 7th frame. Roberta McGee coming up. 42 in the 5th with a strike up. Spare here will cut down the lead by a little bit. 4-7. Still a 40-pin lead. Nicole Markey. Roberta McGee in the 7th frame, and she misses the spare. And we still have a 40-pin lead. sigh of relief. Rough game for Roberta. Nicole should have the advantage at this particular point. She's already bowled on TV once before, so she should have a little bit of experience and shouldn't be bothering her quite as much as Roberta, who's in her first time appearance before the TV and cameras. And that may have been the difference in this match. Experience is extremely important in bowling. This is a good experience for all the bowlers. They get to compete in good scratch competition, which is what many of the junior bowlers are interested in. They like the competition. I did a slight survey to find out what the kids like about bowling, and one of the main comments made was, I like the competition. It's one of the few sports, bowling is, that all bowlers can participate in. Anybody can become a bowler with a handicap league. In other words, they give you a handicap like in golf to even out the scores. Anybody can compete. You don't have to be athletically inclined. There's people bowling in wheelchairs. There's a blind bowling league, and there's bowlers who can't hear. All types of bowlers. So there's no reason why anybody has to sit home and watch or sit on the bench. Nobody sits on the bench in bowling. You get in baseball, the best players are out on the field, and the rest of the bowlers are sitting in the background, sitting on the bench getting squares. In bowling, everybody can participate. It's one of the best sports around for school-age children. Hand-eye coordination. It's one of the best. And we would certainly like to see more of the schools become involved in bowling, have in-bowling programs. Nicole Markey is walking away with this match, 117 in the 8th. Roberta McGee, 168 in the 7th with a spare up. Good 30-pin lead. Roberta says, don't count me out yet. 29 pins. It might still be possible. Roberta has a 148 potential. And already got a 148. Nicole is going to have to get some pins on the next ball. She should pick up one more strike. She would force Nicole to at least make a spare in the 10th frame. This could end up being an extremely close game if Roberta can come back from her deficit and pick up a strike here. Good try. 3-pin standing. So that'll give her a 130-something or other, which at this point is not going to be enough to defeat Nicole Markey. Nicole Markey appears to be the winner of this match, unless something disastrous happens in the 10th frame. Roberta finishes up good, ends up with a double and a spare, 137, well above her average. Nicole needs 6 pins to clinch the victory in 2 balls. That shouldn't be a problem. Nope. Sure is not. So Nicole Markey will be the victor in this year's Youth Top 10 tournament in the Prep Girls division. Is she going to make it? Yes, she's going to get her spare. She's going to have a nice 150 with any kind of count on her fill ball. should be. And here she comes. Good delivery, a little bit off the line, but it came through with a strike. And her final game, 156 for Nicole Markey, 137 for Roberta McGee. Our winner, Nicole Markey. We'll be back with more of the Junior Bowlers Gazette after these words.